Streaming cyberspace into your place. Tonight, YesterYear Racing, where past meets present, has invited 14 top drivers from 5 different oval series to leave the comfort of their race cars of choice to compete in equally prepared Cadillac CTS VSs in a pseudo recreation of the 1985 International Race of Champions. Yes, it's round 3 of the first ever YesterYear IROC Racing Championship, and the Virtual Grip Network is here bringing you all the action live as it happens. This series is a 4-race challenge that consists of 4 different disciplines. The Super Speedway element was met when the series opened at Daytona. That was followed by a road course at Mid-Ohio. Thompson is the choice for the short track and will wrap up the season. But today, the series visits the Atlanta Motor Speedway circa 2008 to test the drivers on a 1.5-mile oval. Hello, everyone. Zach Shaggy Chapman joins yours truly, Bill Soupson, hi from the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our bird's eye view. We're fortunate enough to have replay Ryan Seneker turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. Shaggy, one of the storylines for this event is how well the talents of drivers from short track leagues like Bootleg and YesterYear will transfer over to racing on the bigger 1.5-mile venue.
Well, I think one of the things you already mentioned, the 2008 version of an Atlanta, I think helps those guys coming from the short track that are used to saving tires a little bit. I mean, you know, the guys that are running the bigger tracks used to the newer Atlanta. I mean, this place is a super speedway now. You're not lifting, you're hammered down the whole time. Whereas going back to the old Atlanta, I mean, if you're slipping and sliding like I'm hearing guys are right now with high track temperatures, you're going to need to know how to nurse that right front tire and bring it home because Soup, I think we heard 70-some laps for a tank of fuel, but man, I don't know if you're going to get there on a right front tire. You're really going to have to work tonight.
Let's put up the points real quick. We'll just show these just so we can talk about how it's going to relate to the grid. What they're going to do is invert, and there you see the top 10, and we'll actually turn the page and you can see the next set of drivers as well. Oh, we have the top 10 only. What they're going to do is invert the field based on the point standings right now. So qualifying really not an issue here today. It's all about practice. Now, one of the things they did is the weather is set as it was in Atlanta in 1985. And Shaggy, it is not so bad outside, just 87, but the track is hot at like 121 degrees Fahrenheit, which means tire wear was going to be bad enough. Now it's really bad.
Yeah, those higher track temperatures, tires aren't going to want to grip to the surface as well. You know, you're going to be sliding around. And watching guys like J.R. Shepherd even right now who are so good with tires, I mean, Soup, they're just sliding coming out of corner exit. It's going to be tough. You want to get back to that throttle. If you do it too early, that thing's going to scream the whole way. And I'm telling you, you're going to be lucky to get 50 laps out of a set of tires here tonight. I think guys, if they can get to that 50-lap mark, they're going to come down pit road lap 51 and just hope they can go the rest of the way.
In my opinion, and the rest of the way, we have 100 laps. We can go about 70. We think about 70, 75 miles on fuel, but we don't really think fuel is going to be the determining factor of when you come in. I think this is all going to be down to who has the best crystal ball, who can afford to make a pit stop with 30 to go and hope that yellow comes out and get you up there so you have some new tires to race at the end. It's all going to be about timing here. They have 2 extra sets of tires in the pits. Practice is done. We're going to give you the grid right now, and I'm going to try to hustle through it so I get my VGN commentators bonus. I got a lot to talk about as they work their way around this 1.5-mile track. Get it all done before we go green here. And with that said, let's go to the grid right now. And as we talked about before, these are based on the inverse of the points. So strapped into the chocolate number 15, hopefully he's out there on track so we can get a picture of him, representing the Bootleg Racing League. That league's season 28 late model and season 21 street chalk champion. It is Mechanical Gremlins got the best of him, and it is in the opening at the road course, so he's a little farther down. It is Double Deuce Bruce Pearson. In the tangerine-flavored number 6, the Old Boyd Racing League, the Winter Series Cup champion, still looking for his first IROC top 5. In the Baker's Dozen spot, points-wise, with only 4, it's Go-Go Tom Ogle. In the silver number 7, for the Bootleg Racing League, BRL's Season 27 late model champion with the IROC 3rd in the opening season. To open the season, he had a 3rd, followed by a 9th on the road course, 12th in the points. He's with only 8 is the Canadian Goose, John Wilson. In the vanilla number 8, representing Red Light Racing League, it's the league season 10 SK modified. Oh, you know, that is Jeff Aho is not here today. From the Old Boyd Racing League, in the number 3, it's a debut season in the Xfinity champion, forced to miss the Mid-Ohio, and an 11th at Daytona finds him well down the order. In 9th, he is Floyd Moore. In the gold number 4, Hustle Soup, 8th in the points with 17 from the BRL. The SK Modified Outlaw Crown winner. He's an IROC Super Speedway 10th. And a 4th on the road course is Todd Liston. In the Royal Blue number 12, honoring YesterYear Racing League, that league's Tour Modified champion and race champion winner. Posting a 3rd at Daytona before disciplining 11th at Mid-Ohio, 7th in the championship points with 18. It's Brian Bianchi. In the licorice flavor number 14, from the BLS iRacing League, 2024 BLS iRacing Champion Series champion, with a Super Speedway 7th and a road course 3rd, sitting 6th in the points with 22. It's Christian Lochner. In the lime green number 11, we won't give you the details on this because we're about to go green. It is Jeffrey Souza. In the light blue number 5, it's Sean Foltz. In the white number 2, it's Jeffrey Harden. In the cherry red number 1, it's danger, Jeff Robinson. It's Joshua Robinson. And then your points leader, that is J.R. Shepard. We didn't make it. I knew there was going to be too much to talk about. We're going green here. Glad you were with us. 2 other drivers are filling in the very back, Mike Holloway and Alan Wanamaker. Good first lap here, Shaggy.
Yeah, Bruce Pearson started on the pole there, gave up the bottom coming out of 2. Kind of a head scratcher from what I was seeing. And Tom Ogle, he shot the gap. He's going to lead lap number 1. Good run here for Tom Ogle.
My guess is all of this is pointless right now. It's just a matter of how well you can save the tires. We heard that the top line is the place to go, but that doesn't see what we have going on right now. Go Thomas Ogle down on the bottom. Pearson on top, listed now in 3rd. Running at your top 5 there in the black machine, it's Lotion. And way up top, here comes Sean Foltz.
And remember, Soup, I mean, not that it is a super big deal, but where these guys are in points, starting towards the front, obviously, down there a ways, I believe we're giving away bonus points for most laps led. So Tom Ogle maybe, trying to get everything out of the cow he can here and trying to milk the lead while he can get there.
Your big mover is up on top, 3rd on the top line. It is Sean Foltz, up 5 spots. Well, 4 or 5 spots, depending on where he is in relationship to the car that's underneath them. Of course, underneath them there is Kristen Lotion.
Yeah, and also another big one there on the top, Josh Robinson. I mean, Josh, he's not playing around here. Josh is rolling. I mean, he is no stranger to me. He just won actually last Sunday in the OBRL, I believe. And man, Josh, he is somebody you're going to see up towards the front in the ending laps.
He's gone to the top side as well. You have to be careful to not use up too much stuff too early. The guys to watch back there in the cherry red machine, that is the number 12 machine. That is Joshua Robinson. And then watch out behind him. That's Bianchi. I thought that might have been Shepard. J.R. Shepard in the darker blue machine, a little farther back.
And I'm telling you, Soup, as they go 3 wide, they're going to be okay now, but I saw guys do it in practice. This dog leg, as we come out of turn 4, if you are too far up against that wall, you are going to catch yourself in the wall here as we cross the start-finish line. You can't catch yourself dazing out here. You got to stay focused, and as the tires wear especially.
You talked about the dog leg. One dog that is on the hunt right now is Sean Foltz. Oh my goodness, started in 9th position. He's on the inside line, challenging for the lead again. This is all very impressive. I just don't know how well it's going to work. Not only at the end of the race, I'm thinking lap 45 or 50. We'll see how these guys run.
Arguably the best color, that baby, or are we going to call it robin egg blue? I mean, I absolutely love that color. Oh, man, they get close there entering one. And you're right, Soup. I mean, is it really worth is the juice worth the squeeze at this point? We have a long, long way to go.
Sometimes it is hard to hold back. Big mover so far is Fultz, up 7 spots. J.R. Shepard, your points leader, up 5. He's gone low. We talked to him during practice, and he said, I'm riding up high. Says the car is incredibly tight, and Shaggy was talking about the ride height of the car, that it bottoms out a lot.
Yeah, and he was saying that with it bottoming out, it's really causing those front tires to slide, which is going to add to that right front tire wear. And truthfully, JR, he's not going to like where he is right now, because if he was sliding out there running laps by himself with 2 cars in front of him, taking all that air off the nose, you could see there he kind of yanked it back down the track once it finally did catch some grip. But he is going to be sliding bad. The further you get back in line, the worse it's going to feel.
Looks a little bit like what we saw at Daytona, a little harder to drive. Now at Daytona, it was all about fuel. I don't think that's going to be the case here. It's going to be about tires right now. On that inside row, in the robin egg blue, that is Fultz. Then right behind him, Bruce Pearson. No, it's Liston. Excuse me, that's Liston on the inside. Pearson in the chocolate flavored machine up top.
And for those out there listening, it's not that we favor JR here, because I'm going to talk about him again. It's just he's a broadcast partner of ours sometimes, and we pulled him up here for a little knowledge. And I can tell you, he was saying that his crew chief was coming over and warning him about tire wear at around lap 35. And JR is known for saving those tires. So if JR is getting that warning call at lap 35, in about 10 laps, we're going to see some of these guys starting to hear that message from their crew chiefs. You're going to have to slow down, especially those guys on the bottom. That's kind of why Soup and I are holding our breaths here.
There are 2 stories to tell. There's the story that's happening right now on the track. Then there's the story that's been going on since Daytona. So let's talk a little bit of bump drafting going on there as Fultz gets a little bit of a push there from Liston. Shepard inside row 3. On the outside of row 3, the man who's right next to him in the points, and maybe what Hubble, which is the AI computer that predicts the winners here, is predicted to win this one. We're talking about Josh Danger Robinson up top. And you worry about, well, how effective can that AI be? Well, let me tell you something. They nailed the front 3 at Mid-Ohio in order last time out. So don't judge what Hubble can do.
And I mean, as I talked about Josh earlier, that is a great pick. I mean, that AI clearly knows something. Josh, one of those guys, maybe doesn't need to lead the way right now, but as long as he can see you, he knows he's in contention, and he'll be up there after that final pit stop.
So we talked about the front 6. We haven't talked about, well, basically row 4 as they race in order here. In that black licorice flavored machine, it's Lotion. And right next to him, it's Brian Bianchi in the royal blue car. Again, Liston is giving a bump to Fultz every time on the back straight before they head into 3.
And I think arguably the smartest one right now, Soup, is Alan Wanamaker out there riding around in the back. He's just rolling the middle of the racetrack, making sure he stays in the draft. And I like that. He's not abusing his tires. And I bet you here, about 10 to 15 laps, that yellow car, he's going to be going a lot faster than some of them guys in front of him.
The banana-flavored car back there, Wanamaker, he's had to start at the back as long as Holloway, as Wanamaker is subbing for Joe Snyder. Snyder's taking a little hiatus from sim racing. Joe, if you're watching, hope you're doing well. I miss you. The Butcher of Baton Rouge. My choice of meats during the holiday is not as good if I don't have you to lean on, baby. And then also back there next to Wanamaker is Mike Holloway. Holloway, look at Holloway. He's going underneath Jeffrey Harden.
And the man fueled by White Claw going to take the lead on the outside, Tom Ogle. It's only for a short moment here, though. It looks like Fultz He wants that back. He's going to fight back hard, but Ogle should have a big run here off of 4. It's going to be close.
iRacing gets Foltz credit for leading 1 lap. The rest of them have all been read by Gogo Ogle. Liston back there, bumping, hoping Todd is keeping an eye on the oil temperature. Pearson now looking to give a little bit of a bump as well.
Soup, something we didn't really talk about, and it kind of just clicked with me. You know, JR warned us about the front end kind of dragging with the ride height. It is going to be nasty for some of these guys getting onto pit road. When we do indeed get ready for pit stops, if they go down green flag, you better have practiced, because this could be the wildest pit stop of your life.
Looks right now, everyone, I don't know if they're happy with where they are or if they are just boxed in, but there's really nowhere for the top line to go or the bottom line to go, as they are equally matched. Liston making a good job making sure that Foltz doesn't leave an opening. Every time Foltz starts to drop back a little bit, Todd Liston, second in line on the inside, gets a little bit of a let's go, Sean.
Notice they're staying away from Ryan's entry cameras, though. I think they tore one up a couple months ago, and Ryan made the winner paying back out of that check, so they're going to avoid this.
Couple guys we haven't talked about, the Canadian Goose back there in the silver machine, John Wilson on the outside line. Underneath him, well, that's Jeffrey Sousa. We're a little worried about Sousa. Didn't put in a ton of practice time.
Now, that's smooth. I guess you don't need it. I mean, no hiccups out of him. He's just riding right now. Long way to go. I think Sousa going to be another guy. Maybe when it gets to about lap 60, that's when he'll start maybe sweating a little bit, trying to move up through the field.
With lap times as quick as they are, I'm not sure you can come in to pit lane, get tires, and fuel. Now, here's something that I don't know, and I wish I did know this. As a sports car on iRacing, sometimes you cannot do fuel and tires at the same time. I don't think the Caddy is that way. I think you can come in and simultaneously get fuel and tires. Some sports cars, they won't let you do that.
Yeah, they should be able to lift them all up at the same time, change all 4 tires and fuel. It should be around that 20-second mark, I think. Shouldn't be too much more or less. But right now, I'm kind of, JR hit the nail on the head. The bottom line can kind of move, but from what we're seeing, I think if you want to win this race, you're going to need to be up top here come those final laps. The bottom just can't get enough momentum here to get themselves on by. Lord knows, Sean Foltz is trying.
Oh, the only reason I think Foltz is able to hang with Ogle is because of the help that Liston is getting him almost every lap, if not every other lap. Liston is given a bump that gets him about a car length, well, at least a half a car length. We'll see if he does it again. Drifting way up high is the cherry red of Danger Robinson. Josh just testing it out. Don't get up there too high, baby.
Yeah, that's up there where the marbles are. You do not want to go up there. You'll feel it on corner entry here. You see he backs up way further than Bruce or Ogle. He doesn't want to do that again. You can't afford to get up there and do it twice.
The roll package gives them 3 sets of tires, the one that's on the car, and then 2 in the pits, so that really shouldn't be an issue. We're looking at lap 23. Now we get a little bit of a gap. Starting to drop back a little bit is Sousa. Oh, no, it's Lotion in the black machine, but he's just, I think, doing a little reconnaissance racing.
We were 3 wide for the lead there for a quick moment. Couldn't tell why. If Bruce maybe got into the back of Ogle as well, trying to push him, maybe shot the gap. But he backed out.
Foltz has been credited now with leading 3 laps. The top side getting the best of it with 20 out in front. Boy, they are really boxing up right now. One mistake would take out 3/4 of the field. They are so tight. And in amongst it are your points leader, Shepard and Robinson, the two guys sitting 1-2 in the points, sitting row number 3 right now.
Yeah, and you nailed it, Soup. That's why I really meant what I said about Wanamaker earlier. If you're not one of these guys trying to lead this race, I do not want to be row 3, row 4, because if something happens in front of you, even if you make it through the front, you might get rear-ended from behind. It's just not the place you want to be. I'd want to control my own destiny right now.
So if the front drivers will cooperate, let's go ahead and look at the 3 guys that Shaggy's talking about. And it starts with Jeffrey Harden back there. Sitting back there just saying, far enough back. Harden, Holloway, and Wanamaker, leaving enough room if something were to happen in front of them, they'd have a legitimate chance. Oh my goodness, things are heating up front.
Yeah, and I don't think it's on purpose, Soup. I think that right front tire is starting to give away from some guys, and this is where lap 25, look at Ogle, almost in the outside wall. I mean, hold on, Tommy.
Yeah, things all of a sudden have changed. Shepard has been able to stay down low, and he's got there. Look at the guys who are falling.
Man, John Wilson and Tom Ogle came so close to wrecking as they went across that start-finish line. 3 wide, that was so close. And, you know, man, we shouldn't be surprised, but look who's trying to take the lead.
But Shaggy, it's a totally different dynamic. Just from when we went back to look at Harden, Holloway, and Wanamaker, by the time we got back, things went crazy up front. And it's the formation racing that they were in is long gone. Foltz has moved to the top now. Liston has fallen. Look at Liston drift off. He's having a hard time keeping it off the wall. The car will just not get down for him. Shepard moves to the front. Coming with him is the licorice-flavored car of Lotion now.
No, and this is where nobody's struggling too bad yet at this point, but you got to make sure you leave yourself some tire, because if you lose this draft, you are going to be in trouble. This is going to be a long race for you. You got to stay close enough to that guy in front of you.
Josh Danger Robinson has given up the top side. He's come down low. Remember, he was side by side with Shepard for a while. He's still, Robinson's still stuck in row 3, but now he has moved to the inside. The chocolate-flavored machine outside of Robinson is Pearson. And for what it's worth, Thomas Ogle, who led so many laps, whether by choice or by necessity, Shaggy, he's at near the back now.
Yeah, and interesting, too, because I mean, if you would have made me bet all my money here on who was going to lose their tires first, I would have bet it was going to be Foltz, but somehow I made that right front tire last longer on the bottom, and now it's really got me head scratching. Does JR maybe want to be down on the bottom to save tires like I didn't think was possible? Is this possibly why he's running on the bottom?
Now they're getting back into formation. They just kind of shuffled it up a little bit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cars up front, running side by side in 5 rows. Then the guys who continue to sit in the back: Holloway, Wanamaker, Harden. Let's throw into that mix now the Canadian Goose, John Wilson.
And as soon as they spread out, Soup, they regroup. I mean, there's obviously 4 now in the back tailing, but look at them. They are repacked up. They're ready to go one more time.
Lap 32. We are a third of the way. Oh, getting way up there. That is Souza. He gets it gathered up. He's going to lose a couple spots. 1 to Ogle and 1 to Moore.
And JR was able to cross up in front for the lead coming out of 2. And Foltz, got a big run and looked back to the bottom, and they crossed each other over here. It looks like JR barely going to edge him out at the line, but JR now up top where we thought he'd want to be.
3 different leaders so far. Shepard
Liston in the wall. Left. Liston was in the wall there, Soup. Sorry, Todd Liston got in the wall through 1 and 2, and now you can see they're checking up behind him. I don't think these guys get a quick repair either, and now he's in the wall one more time.
Oh, my goodness. Todd trying to gather his breath. And with all that going on, we've got ourselves our first really clear leader as J.R. Shepherd. Oh, no! I thought Foltz was going to drift up into his left hind quarter and turn him, but he got a hold of it. And here comes Danger Robinson on the outside, moving to the inside.
Just as soon as Shepherd thinks he can catch his breath, there's Robinson diving to the inside, and we got red and blue battling for the front here once again. As man, JR just proven you get such a big run off the top before that. I mean, he's edging him out at the line every time. I mean, there's a huge gap between him and Liston as well. He is doing that by himself. Liston really, really struggling behind him. He's, I want to say, 3, almost 4 car lengths back.
Pearson and Ogle are stuck on the outside line behind him. And boy, it is really getting wild behind these guys. They are single file for the first 3. Then back behind, totally different race than what we saw the first 25 laps. They are squirming and scrambling and rolling and drifting. Oh, 3 wide there. That's the cars. That's Moore looking to see if he can get underneath Bianchi. Bianchi almost gets into Liston. Todd says, come on, I've got a hard enough time, Brian, keeping this car going straight without you bumping me. They get it worked out.
Yeah, notice up front, Josh Robinson couldn't get it done, and he wised up. He got back up in line, but no surprise, Foltz right back at the bottom here working. It seems like if you can, top line where you want to be, and as soon as it looked like the car went away from Tom Ogle there, Soup, but starting to race his way back up into this picture.
Again, maybe the car went away from him, or maybe he could just read the writing on the wall, say, I'm working way too hard, I'm going to fall back a little bit. Where to watch, I'm telling you, there's trouble brewing everywhere. Most of it behind Todd Liston. Let's go there real quick. Oh, no, this is going now underneath, making a move. That is Ogle trying to get underneath. Liston was too slow for Ogle on the top side. He tries to go down low. Liston spent the early part of the race pushing Foltz. Bianchi now making a move, going underneath Lotion in the licorice-flavored machine. And all the while, Hardin, Wilson, Wanamaker, and Holloway are just turning in the laps in the back.
Yeah. Now Robinson getting to the outside and a little insider. I do believe you're right, Ryan, but I couldn't remember off the top of my head. But man, I thought Robinson was going to get to the outside. Somehow JR shut the door here, and Robinson let him know about it. Gave him a couple shoves there going down the backstretch, and I bet you JR here going to do it one more time. He knows that's the quick line. I'm going to run where I need to be.
The dark blue machine is Shepherd. The cherry red is Robinson. Those are your 2 points leaders. The sky blue machine of Foltz has been very dominant. And then the licorice-flavored car of Lotion. Watch out for him. He pulls up right in front of Ogle. Ogle gives him a shove. My mom told me you can only dance in the china shop so long before you break a tea set. Oh my goodness, these guys are doing the tango, but all the china still sitting on the shelf.
I was trying to go back and see if I could find a hiccup for Jeffrey. I couldn't really find one, but all of a sudden, Jeffrey Hardin, he is 5 seconds back of your leader. He is running around all by himself back there. And man, the 2 car, he's really going to need a caution here early, Sue.
I think he's thinking there's no way these guys can continue to race like this and a caution not to come out, so I don't know how worried he actually is. Oh my goodness, that's a little bit of a shit. Moore gets into Ogle, got into his left rear, thought it might turn him, but they got it all straightened out. Robinson up 9, Shepherd up 11. I'm not
he's in a
saying
hurry to make some Mary Kay deliveries in that number 3 machine.
So let's take a look at Shepard's racing line here. Sometimes he gets those left sides way down low. Let's see if he'll go ahead and prove us right now. He's going to stay up there this time. Every once in a while, he'll get those left sides down below the white line, maybe help the car turn. Robinson way up high, gets a run. Is he going to look to lead? No, he's going to wait. Go ahead.
I think he knows he needs to take that run, meaning Josh Robinson. He needs to do it up high. He's just not going to get it done on the bottom. So he can get that big run, but as long as JR goes up there and shuts the door, I just don't know if these guys have enough grip to make the pass. Oh. On the bottom is Sean Foltz, and Tom Ogle make contact.
Foltz gets it straightened up. I was just going to talk that I think Foltz might be finished. He's having a hard time right now. Here comes the pass for the lead. Danger Robinson getting underneath, put Josh out in front.
We'll have to see if the dirt comes out of him and he throws a little bit of a slide job here as he does come across the nose of JR. And now JR going to cut back underneath here. He'll need to do the same thing here in turn one if he wants to get the spot back.
Your 2 points leaders going at it. Foltz must be listening to the broadcast. Just when I thought he was done, he starts to make a run on the inside. What I know from these guys is they'd like to be in the lead when it comes to pit stop time. They'd like to be in the lead on the inside line if possible. Put Shepard and Foltz in a good position.
Oh, JR, man, he ran him up the hill. He made Robinson work for it there, and Robinson was not backing out of it. He held on to the spot. Now looking to bring along his OBRL friend, Tom Ogle. Tom looking to help Josh complete the run here going down the backstretch.
So the reports of Ogle's death might have been a bit exaggerated as he is back. The question is, can you afford to pit early, get those tires, and then you'll go a lap down, but that really doesn't matter if everyone else have to pit, or even if the yellow comes out, you'll cycle around, you'll still have new rubber. What is this? When do you want to go?
So Lloyd Moore, his fastest lap of the race was a 32.134. Last time was a 33.2, so a full second slower. But Soup, I think you're going to need drafting partners. So here's where you're going to need somebody to go with you. You can't do it alone.
You got to wonder, the contingent from BRLs there might be an advantage the more guys that you have. Although honestly, these guys all know each other whether they're from the same series or not.
Yeah, Jeffrey Souza, though, the lone man coming down pit road and doing it before the halfway point. Here comes Jeffrey Harden as well. So that means these guys have longer to go than they just ran here next time, and they're going to be by themselves, not in the spot I'd want to be.
Could be maybe an early afternoon for those guys. Harden certainly was struggling. Here's the deal. If you come in, the longer you wait, the faster you'll be at the end. But if you were to come in early with a partner, get new rubber, maybe 2 or 3 of you guys, you could do the undercut. And by the guys have time they want to pit up front, well, you've ran away with it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's honestly the two who I expect to do that are the guys 1 and 2 right now, Ogle and Robinson. But now that they're out front, it puts you in a little tougher spot. You don't necessarily want to give up that track position and possibly go a lap down if a caution comes out. So it's going to be tough. But yeah, I expect a couple people here to come in groups of 2s or possibly 3. I wouldn't say more than 3.
So Souza made the stop. He's back out. Harden is not. So we've lost 1. Todd Liston coming down pit road. What we will do here is when Liston exits, we'll follow him and see if he can link up with Souza. Oh, we got a whole bunch. Foltz and Shepard coming in now. They got to halfway and that was it. Shaggy, they said far enough.
A couple of them made me look like liars, but I said if they made it to lap 50, they'd be coming in at 51. And lo and behold, that's what JR's doing. Expect the leaders here to come in before too long because you're not going to get that much of a tire advantage here. I mean, the guys made it to halfway. This is the time to pit.
Liston spins the car coming off the pit lane. He's put it down in the alfalfa. He just did a half spin, brought it back out. Bianchi coming down. Now let's look and see how Shepard and Foltz with a big lead over Shepard. Is that too far back? Is Shepard, can he get there?
Well, I think JR better go because here comes Souza. That pit stop worked out for Souza. If Souza could get up there and get to the back, I mean, JR, I guess he's close enough. He'll link up, and I think, really, I think 3 cars is probably your dream draft scenario. So these guys may just have put themselves in a good spot here. But like you mentioned, Sean Foltz needs to drag that brake a little bit here. Let's link up quicker than later.
Souza may be the life preserver there for Shepard, as if Shepard would need such a thing. But I was worried that maybe Foltz, who certainly had pace, we saw him run up front, was going to pull away. But now Shepard and Souza can team up. Let's look at this. Souza going underneath. Now, I think what they're doing is leapfrogging, I believe. They're going to try to leapfrog their way up there.
Yeah, and, I'm not ashamed to admit, maybe Souza feels like he's a Zach Chapman soup. I'm not very smooth on the wheel. Always a better follower than the lead car.
So Foltz is the lead car of all the cars who have pitted. Let's check in on the leaders now. Robinson remains out front. Boys, I think you guys your gooses are being cooked. No offense to the Canadian goose, John Wilson, but these guys are going to run much faster laps, Shepard, Foltz, Souza, than you guys are. Maybe it'll pay off in the end.
Full second faster, Soup. Last time by for the leader, 32.2. Last time by for Foltz, 32.32. So 9/10 of a second, they're making up a lap here.
And I don't see the advantage here because even you say, well, what about if a yellow comes up? Well, in theory, those guys could come in and pit again if they get back out in front. Okay.
No, and I think the thing for me is, Soup, we saw the tire fall off. When I'm looking at their lap times, we got into those 33 seconds, fairly quick. I want to say around lap 12 or so. So, I mean, you only have about 12 lap benefit of tires, and I would say if I'm these guys, you don't want to give up that track position. You need to get down pit road.
Pit stops all about 17 seconds. Liston's was a horrible 21. John Wilson was in there for 24 seconds. Let's look at Holloway coming out of pit lane, and they are blowing by him.
Yeah, didn't want to loop it on the bottom there with all that rubber. You saw him take it easy, and that was a close exit there. Almost came up before that cone. He's probably holding his breath there, but real interesting, not that I want to jump off the leaders here, but JR and Sean Foltz, they're still running together, but not really together, Soup. I'm surprised they're not trying to, push each other and really get advantage of this.
You almost wonder, maybe the draft isn't that important, but you almost wonder if Foltz wouldn't be to his advantage maybe to back up a little bit and get down there and let Shepard run with him. Okay, so we are watching 2 different races now. Well, it's the same race, 2 different versions of the race. You got Robinson in this battle up front. That's more to his inside. Thomas Gogo Ogle and Christian Lotion in the licorice-flavored machine. And we talked about Alan Wanamaker sandbagging. Well, right now he's in 5th, racing with the big guys.
Yes, he is. And, I mean, he seems comfortable. He's not trying to go up there and race, but he can go anywhere. You see him diming down the racetrack there. He's probably got a little more grit than those guys in front of him. Definitely paced himself here, but you don't want to outdo yourself here, Soup. I hate to go F1 on him, but I think the undercut is going to be a big deal here. Because if you notice, right now, they're coming out of turn 2. Leaders are right up the road. They are entering turn 3 right now. Here they come, and JR decides, look at this. If the caution flag comes, JR wants to be the lucky dog here. So that pass does mean a little something.
I can give you this timing and scoring. It is 36 seconds. Now that's a lap and then a little bit more between the leader Robinson and Shepard. 36 now. It is dropping. Shepard continued to knock time off of it. Oh, look at this. We ride on board.
The average pit loss time between all those drivers was about 47 to 50 seconds. So you can, whenever those guys pit, they're going to have a 9 to 10 second lead here.
But it's a pay me now, pay me later type thing, because they're certainly going to be faster at the end. We're talking about Robinson and his gang trying to run down J.R. Shepard, though. I can think of better strategies than trying to run down J.R. Shepard. Oh, Robinson gets a little bit of the wall.
No, and really, I mean, obviously, yes, there will be a payoff at the end, Sue, but the laps we're seeing from Fultz and Shepard are a lot different than those first 25 laps we saw of double file racing. I mean, they get to go wherever they want, let that car roll. They're not binding it up. I don't think they're going to eat the tires like they did on that first run.
Let's go look at Bruce Pearson. Here's a blessing for Pearson. He may go a lap down, but if he can get on the back of Shepard and Fultz, who are coming, those two guys may be able to pull him up to the front five that have left him. Pearson is on the same strategy as the front five, yet to pit.
He's pitting right now. I saw him do the pitting in icon. I have the iRacing stuff up. We'll see Double Deuce slow down here through 3 and 4, and he's going to hit pit road.
Oh, they're all coming.
Look, here comes everybody, and Bruce, he almost overshot it. Oh, he barely got in there.
Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to focus on two things. We're not going to watch the cars in pit stalls because that's the most boring thing you can do on sim racing. Let's put our attention on Shepard. Shepard and Fultz on the back straight, and they know right now they are racing the cars that are on pit lane, and they are hustling. I expect these guys to blow past Robinson without much of an issue.
They're gonna, because they're all still up on the jack. Jack's just dropped here, and some of those guys, they're just rolling. Big time lead for these guys, Sue.
Robinson exiting pit lane right now. And Shepard and Fultz are long gone. See you later, boy, like you're a skater boy, says J.R. Shepard. Fultz.
Lloyd Moore, the lone man yet to pit here, Sue. He's got everybody trapped lap down, so now would be the time to have a caution for Lloyd Moore.
He's hoping for a Florida thunderstorm to come in and wash this thing out. We've gone more than halfway. Call it official. The entire field, can we get it like a blimp shot? The entire field is separated. No pairing going on except for Shepard and Fultz. Dark blue and light blue. Look at that. Let's focus our attention on Lloyd Moore. The only car racing right now on lap number 67. Everybody else on lap number 66. If the caution is going to come, it's got to come quick for Lloyd.
Yeah, but just to put it into perspective, I mean, obviously those guys behind him, they're still catching them, but they were only 2.5 tenths faster that last lap. So that really is how fast these tires equal out. You really only have them real quick for about 15 laps, and then they equal out and hit around that 33.2 mark. So Lloyd doing a good job here of just nursing it.
Exactly, but Shepard and Fultz pitted on lap 50. The rest of the guys came in about 64, so there's 14 laps, and those 14 laps is when Shepard and Fultz were making hay.
Yeah, and that's why I say I think track position will be so important, because when they catch him, I think the tires will start to equal off, and you won't be able to wheel and deal. And it just seems like so far from what we've seen, you want to be in the lead and you want to run that high line. And I don't know, you couldn't have got me to give up track position.
So let's go on board with Joshua Danger Robinson. And I think he can see the guys he's chasing. You look up there, those little dots just a little bit ahead. There they are. That is Shepard and Foltz. And then your race leader, Lloyd Moore. Oh, Cinderella staying late at the ball for Lloyd Moore. That gas tank has got to be about as empty as a syrup bottle on a church social.
I can't believe what JR told us. Lloyd Moore going 70 laps on this. I mean, we may have to call him the tire whisperer. That's impressive. I mean, just driving this thing around, slipping and sliding that long. And, oh boy, Lloyd, he's definitely worked on his racecraft. Yeah, it's a great run.
And now he's tucked in between the guys that are, well, your virtual race leaders right now, Shepard and Foltz. So just to dial this in a little bit, if you're new to racing, your leader right now is Lloyd Moore, and he is almost a complete lap ahead of the guy in second, which is J.R. Shepard. But you cannot make a pit stop and stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, who is on 50-lap fresher tires and can barely get away from him now, Soup? I mean, you see, this is really a treat for Lloyd. I mean, you can see he's losing time throughout the center of the corner. But those two plowing through the air in front of him, this is helping Lloyd out, and it's going to help or make going long not hurt him as much.
So he can't stay with him through the corners, but then on the straight, he tries to get in the toe of the two cars in front of him. He does a good job of pulling up. Then that car drifts way up. Look at them pull away through the corner. Little by little, Moore is beginning to lose touch with those guys. You know what? Foltz and Shepard are I don't think Foltz has any goal to get around Shepard right now. Their goal is to try to stay ahead of Robinson, who's coming.
Yeah, make it a two-horse race. Like I say, if you can pull away, work together, which is why I'm kind of surprised they didn't do it at the beginning of the run here, but better late than never. When by the time Robinson and Ogle get there, I mean, the tire fall off, it's just going to be too severe to really take advantage and work around, and this is what I like to see, and I think Tom Ogle and Josh Robinson, they may have to get the hint here and start doing it themselves.
So are Robinson and Ogle, are they both in your Sunday night series that you broadcast, or is it just one of them?
Yeah, they both are, and they share the podium pretty equally over there. Sean Foltz as well, actually, the guy in P2. So they are no stranger to winning races on Sunday nights.
So it's 3 against 1. Maybe Foltz racing with Robinson and Ogle helps him know that those are the guys to beat, and he's tucked in behind. Well, I don't want to give him a nickname, but I do call the color of his car Baltimore blue. So we're talking about J.R. Shepard. He's found himself a nice guy to sit behind.
Yeah, those boys, I'm telling you, I bet you they'd be happy to have him over there at the OPRL if he would ever have a Sunday night free. They would test JR over there, Soup. They really would. I mean, he'd run towards the front, but I think he'd have fun over there.
Oh, that's a good lay down the gauntlet there for Voldemort. All this behind Lloyd Moore. Oh my goodness, out there. They should have painted that car orange because he's in a Cinderella pumpkin. Can't believe it's still a carriage right now. Oh, the fairy godmother for Lloyd Moore had some awesome powers. Lap number 77 on the same tires, the same set of fuel, but, well, here comes Robinson. There goes Robinson. And here comes Go-Go Ogle. And won't be, well, God, I don't know. I keep riding off Lloyd Moore. Moore's putting on quite a show. They did not blow by him as fast as I thought they would.
No, I mean, he can't make it easy. He's got to make him use that rubber because Lloyd, I guess maybe he thinks he can duck down here pit road, 20 to go, and run qualifying laps until he come home. I mean, I don't know if the strategy's going to work, but he's definitely making these guys work getting by.
23 laps to go. Robinson and Ogle are closing on Shepard and Fultz. Remember, they pitted a lot later, so they should be fast. But here's what my partner told me. These tires start to equal out. They pitted at like 64, so those tires are just about to lose their advantage for Robinson and Ogle. But they are definitely coming. Working under the lap car now of the Canadian Goose, John Wilson.
Yeah, they're running high 32 seconds right now, so about a tenth and a half quicker than the leaders, but they're only going to have that here for about 4 or 5 more laps, and we'll see them start running high 33s, and they'll have to use that draft and maybe that 3-man team up to unseat the current point leader.
And I don't want to miss, has Moore finally pitted? Like staying out there. Bring it home on that tank of gas, baby. Put an egg under the throttle. Nurse that thing around. You're still the leader. 14 laps out in front. 18 laps. Correct myself. Lloyd Moore. Thomas Ogle, 22. You know, there's a good chance if Moore can stay out there for another 4.5 laps, he'll leave here with the bonus points for leading the most laps.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be on his mind. And I'm wondering at this point, Soup, I mean, I guess he would lose some time, but maybe gain some back. Do you fuel only if you've gone this long and you just try to fuel only?
All right, things have heated up. Our 2-car battle is now a 4-car battle, and Fultz says, all right, I've been back here long enough. What I think Fultz might do is try to get underneath Shepard, make him go around you 3 wide. Robinson pulls up there. Fultz alone on the inside. How about a little help, he's saying to one of these guys. Ogle, you want to come down low? Ogle says, no, I like the top side.
I truthfully think this is what JR wants here. I don't know if he's going to try to clear Fultz at all, if ever here. You know, just kind of clog up these 2 lanes. Keep the top where you're going to get that momentum off the corner. I think this is where JR feels like he's at home right now.
Run side by side for the next 17 laps and then have a drag race out of 4 for the win. Keep Danger Robinson and Go-Go Ogle behind you. Robinson says, hey, there's an opening. I can go down the middle.
Oh, man. We're going to need to repaint that wall here after this one. I think he brushed that up. That was close. Josh trying to go high, wide, and handsome. Just not enough room. And, man, JR, he's leaving that door open, kind of inviting him up there, but realistically, no grip up there to get it done.
Over back there. Lloyd Moore still out. Wouldn't it surprise everybody if he could do it with no stopper? There is no green-white checker. This is old-school racing, 1985 rules. They hadn't even conceived of such a concept. Anyone who came up with that idea, they would have strung them up in 1985. Oh, those were the days.
It's coming down pit road. Leader finally pitting Soup.
Cinderella has a curfew. It's a 4-car race. And I'm not saying that the rest of the field is cottage cheese, but clearly the cream has risen. 3 wide! Oh, no! Danger Robinson says, I'm up for it. He's going to take the high side. Fultz says, I don't think so. He backs out of it. Ogle to the top. Oh, Shepard knows just how short the tail of his car is. He pulls right in front of Robinson. Robinson ducking underneath.
And JR knows he's got to drive in deep here. He can't let him slide up across this nose. He's going to lose that track position. He knows it. It's going to be a drag race, man. Soup, this is going to be an amazing final 14 laps here, Soup.
You know what's interesting, though, is they are all going to be racing at the end on old rubber. It is not going to be as easy as you might think. There's a little bit of a bump from Ogle, a little bit of a bump from Fultz. If familiarity means anything, certainly Shepard is Rudolph here. Not sure if these old boy racing league guys will let him play any reindeer games. There's 3 of them and just 1 of him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Soup, you know, the race car drivers out there, they want that hardware. So I think every one of those drivers is going to put themselves in the best position they think they can to win this race.
Boink, boink. Both drivers from the back giving a bump. I gotta think that the outside line is maybe a little easier on the rubber than the inside line. Is Robinson using up more of his stuff? Is Ogle working harder down there on the inside? Now they start to think maybe single file by 4. No, Robinson doesn't want it. Fultz is not going to let Robinson slip up. Look at the big run that Ogle is going to get from back there. Another boink from Fultz. Shepard, go ahead.
That's an important bump from Fultz there, Soup, because if not, Robinson could possibly throw the slide job there, and you could see it kind of caught him off guard that he was right to the door there through the center of the corner. And right now, I mean, Shepard, he owes Fultz a cold one after this one if he brings it home, because Fultz is a perfect wingman right now.
You got to wonder if that wingman element might be amplified by the fact that Shepard and Fultz have worked so hard together, even though they don't race in the same series. You almost want to think there's a certain bonding because we've worked so hard to do what we did to get out in front. You would think that those 2 blue cars of different intensities would work together. They might have seemed to establish some kind of brotherhood.
Soup, do you know, I just noticed something. Stay in this camera, please, Ryan. Look at Shepard's rear brake lights here, Soup. He's tapping the brakes here on corner entry. I don't know if there's some bumps. You can see them light up. They're just real quick flashes on the bottom as well. They're having to use the brakes out here now, something I didn't even anticipate.
What that camera, look at that. What I love, that is IROC right there. 4 cars under a blanket, all with the similar paint scheme, all with different colors. Oh my goodness, Shepard and Robinson. Thank goodness there is no ghost contact on that. They are racing so close, and iRacing doing a good job of getting everything worked out. There's some tight racing going on.
Now JR goes down and shuts the door. I'll tell you, it was a close call through 1 and 2, but he stuck his nose in there. I'm telling you, JR has to be smiling like a butcher's dog right now. I mean, this is some fun racing out here. He definitely was not expecting this tonight, Soup, I don't think.
Don't need to go there, but there is the other battle back there that involves Holloway, Wanamaker, and Lotion. And you're putting on quite a show, but it would be a sin to the viewers if we took the camera off the front 4.
No, and notice there going into turn 3, Sean Fultz slapped the wall ever so slightly on that right side, and now JR does not have his friend right behind him anymore, and this is where Tom Ogle and Josh Robinson, if they work together, this is their chance to strike here.
Ogle with a bump on Robinson. Has Fultz done? Is he done? No, he's coming back. I thought he was going to drift back after hitting the wall, but now he's back in there again. Shepard has got to feel all alone.
I think he's looking out of that rearview mirror as much as he is that windshield right now. He's got to go wherever that big red bullseye goes. And right now, Josh trying to get to the outside, going to think about an over-under. Nope, can't do it. Going to stay in line here. And man, oh man, if you're Josh Robinson, I know you want to wait till later to make your move, Soup, but we've seen how hard it is to pass. You've got to go when you got your run. You got to make your move.
All right, buddy, you know all these drivers. 5 to go. Make a call. Who do you like?
Oh man, I almost chimed up when our producer said he'd take Robinson. I'll throw him under the bus. I'd have to take JR in this. I mean, he is just pacing the field. No other man I'd want out front leading in my race car.
You will never go broke putting your money on J.R. Shepherd to win. That said, Robinson looks very good. You wonder if Ogle is back there just playing possum? Foltz doing all he can. I don't think Foltz can win it on his own, but if he could get with his buddy Shepherd, maybe make a run coming off of 4. Robinson, I think right now, is just feeling out how much he needs. I don't think he's going to show his cards until when? Out of 4? Is there enough time to get it done, or do you have to do it going into 3 and 4? Ogle says, I'm going to do it now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You got to do it sooner rather than later, and I think Foltz, you're probably going to see him duck down and get in line as well. We've seen him be aggressive, try to make moves, and he's got to put himself in a spot to win this thing. It's not going to be easy to do in the bottom. If you're going to go in the bottom, got to go now.
Danger Robinson not happy with the way this is playing out. He had it all worked out, but certainly being stuck on the outside of row 2 with 2 guys in front of him was not the plan. He's going to try to see if he can maybe move Shepherd up and make a little room for him to get in there. Foltz is doing everything he can to be in the party, using his Flintstone feet. Is Sean Foltz, but he cannot get there. Ogle is the fly in the ointment of Robinson's master plan.
Man, Tom really drove it in deep there. Is he going to be able to clear? Oh, he made himself clear. And now Tom Ogle, new leader with a lap and a half to go here, Soup. We're running out of time.
Shepherd wanted to come down in front of Robinson, but somehow JR just... Homie, don't play that when it comes to JR Shepherd, and now he's stuck behind the 2 guys in front. They come across the line. It is the white flag. 3 names are in it. Ogle, Robinson, and Shepherd. They're going to make it 3 wide. That dark blue Messina Shepherd trying to get in there. They're not going to give him room. Ogle with a good run off of 2 down the back straight. Robinson beginning to lose momentum as he doesn't have a drafting partner. Is Foltz out of it? No, here he comes. They go into 3 and 4. Shaggy said you got to get it done sooner than later. Well, boys, it's later. Here comes Robinson. I don't think he's going to have enough steam. The checkered flag is waving. The line is coming. And the winner, it is Tom Gogo Ogle. Joshua Robinson gets second. J.R. Shepherd third. Foltz in 4th. Woo, doggy. Watermaker, Lotion, and Sosa go in the order 5th, 6th, and 7th. 100 laps of green flag racing. Strategy, speed, fuel, tires. What more do you want? The racing is over. We'll take a short break because our broadcast is not. We'll come back and run down the entire finishing order, talk to the drivers up front before we put a lock on the gate. Ooh, sweet sassy molasses. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway and the Virtual Grip Network's Live As It Happens coverage of YesterYear Racing's where past meets present. Their first ever, the inaugural season of their IROC championship. And let's go ahead and take another look at that last lap and have Shaggy tell me what he thinks going on here. We'll dial it up. 4 cars battling for the lead. You see them coming to the white flag.
Yeah, so obviously Tom Ogle had just made the pass there going through 1 and 2, and you knew that blue machine behind him, J.R. Shepard, if he saw a hole, he was going to try to make it work as they cross the start-finish line. White flag waves. Robinson drives it in on the bottom. Ogle goes right up against that wall, and you see JR. He tries to make it work, but just no tires left and kind of has to fall out. And from that point, Tom knows, I got to drive it in here, just be smooth up top, keep it out of the wall, and that's exactly what he does. Rolls through 3 and 4, ever so smooth, and he is just going to roll the top and return to victory lane. Tom Ogle brings it home at Atlanta.
And also big picture thinking there, Robinson behind Shepard by 3 points in the standings, finishes ahead of the man he is chasing. That was a good race all the way through, all 100 laps. Thanks to the drivers for doing that. Let's go ahead and run down your finishing order right now. There were 14 drivers. I'll take the top 7, leave the back 7 to my partner. Well, as Tom Ogle gets the win, came from 3rd position, fell back, and then came back. Joshua Robinson teamed up with Ogle to get 2nd position. J.R. Shepard and Sean Foltz, they pitted early, and it cost them there at the end as they just didn't have enough to race when it really counted. They'll go 3rd and 4th. Alan Wanamaker, who's filling in, started way in the back. He's happy with the 5th place finish. 6th and 7th in the licorice-flavored machine, Christian Lotion and Jeffrey Souza in 7th. Partner?
Lloyd Moore brought it home P8. Bruce Pearson P9. Mike Holloway rounds out the top 10. Todd Liston 11th. John Wilson 12th. Brian Bianchi 13th. And Jeffrey Harden, I heard his AC went out, so it was a tough night for him racing. He decided to call it quits, and he came home P14.
All right, with that, let's go ahead and see if we can dial up our race winner, Thomas Ogle here. Started in 3rd. Tom, you fell back a little bit early on. You were up front, then you fell back. We were a little bit worried about you. Was that just a little bit of strategy?
I got hit. I got knocked up the track and turned sideways, and it damaged my car a little bit. And then it ended up making the car drive better after the damage. So I guess all's well that ends well.
Okay, how worried were you after the pit cycles? You see, and there's Shepard and Foltz way out there. Worried, or did you think we can run them down?
I thought we could run them down. My fear, and it actually ended up being, was by the time we got there, our tire advantage would dissipate, we needed to catch them maybe in like 3 or 4 laps, and we did not. So once we caught them, we were a little bit better, but you can run that high line, you know what I mean? So that's what I was doing when I got hit. I was just kind of up there riding. So I knew that it was hard to pass on the bottom.
We'll get you out of here on this one. I think Robinson had a plan that was foiled until his buddy, Thomas Ogle, goes underneath him and is side by side with Shepard. Was that always the thinking? When did you know it was time to go?
Well, I think I pulled down there to pass. I had saved a little bit while they were racing pretty hard, and I had maybe saved just a tiny bit. But I knew if I could get a run on both of them down the front stretch, I could dive it into one. And then I had watched, I figured, I'm trying to figure out how to put this. I watched some slide jobs up front before that. So I was like, well, I guess that's the way we're allowed to pass then.
I understand.
Once somebody opened the bottle, so I was going to take a drink of the slide job.
I'll get you out of here. This is what I'll get you out on. When, if ever, did you think you had it locked? As far back as 3 or what? Not till you actually came out of 4 or when you crossed the line?
I didn't think I had it locked because I kind of got into 4 a little bit hard and pushed up, and then I figured if they were lined up below me, they might just nip me at the And the original plan was for us to run them down, get on the top side and just drive past them and then race it out between the two of us with our tire advantage. So that's kind of was the plan, catching them. But once we got to them, we couldn't pass them that quick. So
got it.
Hey, listen, better to be lucky than good.
I don't know. It was like you guys
I've had horrible luck.
You guys put on a really good show. It was a great broadcast. 100 green flag side-by-side laps. Well done, boys.
After practice, I was worried. I was like, this isn't going to race. It's not going to be fun. Once we got racing, this car raced amazing. Alan did an amazing choice. If he would have asked me, I'd have been like, no, it's not going to race good. But it ended up racing really good. There was a weird spot in 1 and 2, like in the middle of 1 and 2, where the car would just take off up the track. But if you could get past that, you could race. But it raced amazing. It was a ton of fun. Honestly, it's a ton of fun. I was like, if I finished 3rd or 4th, it's been a great, fun race anyhow. So I just didn't expect that. It was amazing.
Congratulations. You put on a good show.
Thank you.
Well done. See you next race.
You.
Thomas Ogle, your winner today. Partner?
Josh Robinson, what's going on, man? Long time no talk. How are we feeling after a hard-fought P2, man?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. I don't know if I've ever seen Cadillacs race this hard. I mean, you guys throwing slide jumps on each other, all sorts of stuff. I didn't know you could do all that. Man, you were really making them work. And, you know, Tom kind of broke the bubble there saying, you know, he wasn't too sure how these things were going to race. And I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't too sure either at this racetrack, man. But you guys put on a great show. How do you feel with the overall product in the racing tonight?
You know, that was some pretty good racing. I think a lot of us were a little nervous in practice because it was very tight. And then, you know, you don't always run in a pack, but then when that green flag dropped, I mean, it was like a super speedway that you had to lift a little bit on. It was a ton of fun. Man, did right out of that tri-oval into turn 1, you couldn't make your car any more narrow than you needed it to be. Every time I seen that inside line slide up, it was just like, oh no.
Man, I couldn't help but think of you while you guys were out there running a little long. You know, you're the first guy who will mention once you kind of hit that higher fall-off window, you know. I noticed you guys were getting about maybe 12 to 16 good, somewhat fast laps into 32s. Were you worried that you maybe stayed out too long? And, I mean, when you guys got there, didn't have much of a tire advantage. You didn't make it too easy on yourself here.
No, I kind of wanted to go a couple laps earlier, but Lloyd was having such a good run down on the bottom that we had to wait until we were a little single file. And I probably would have liked to pit about lap 60 into 61, something about that. So you have a little bit less to make up. I think that would have been good, but you know, as soon as we got to him, Sean started to make his move, which was exactly what he needed to do, and that kind of forced our hand at not really doing anything yet. And well, as you guys seen, I think we all took turns with the slide job at some point.
Yeah, man, you know, it looked like you were a dirt tracker out there at some point. It seemed like a lot of fun, and I know tonight you came in 3 points behind. You know, I'm no math expert, but I think you may leave here the point leader with 1 race to go. I mean, you excited? Do you think you got a chance to walk out champion?
You know, the way the points are, you get bonus points for leading the most, the second most, and the third most. So I think JR, who finished 3rd, is going to actually net a point on me tonight. So it'll be interesting to see. Next week is it's not next week. In about 16 years, when we run the when we run the 4th race, that's going to be a short track, and you know, short track's a short track. So you can finish first just as easy as you can finish last at one of those.
Well, hey, Josh, congratulations, man. You put on a great show tonight. You were a lot of fun to watch. You got anybody you want to thank before you get out of here?
Thanks to Alan for he put so much effort into this, and it paid off tonight. We had a really good product on the track for him, so I'm glad to see that. Thanks to everyone that comes out. You know, it's a caution-free race, which is to be expected with the group that we got in here. So that was pretty awesome to see. Thank you guys for always putting on a quality broadcast, and happy birthday to the guy that won the race tonight. I think he's about 87 years old now.
Oh man, we needed that gold mine before you did that interview, Soup. But hey, congratulations, Josh. Can't wait to talk to you again, man.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, Soup. I think you're going to have the man who finished P3 here.
You know, he does not enjoy not winning, and then to make him wait for 2 interviews to come and do his stuff. Thanks, JR, for sticking around. You've been in the booth enough. Tell me about your race.
Yeah, it was interesting. Fun race overall. So, yeah, thanks for the YesterYear Racing League for putting it on and everything that Alan does to put this stuff together. It's a lot of fun. The car was just way tight. Made it very difficult when you had to pass a lot of guys. So really, I felt like the first run there kind of dictated how the end of the race was going to go. And I kind of had to pit when I pitted right around halfway. It just killed my stuff trying to come through the field after that bad start there.
Well, you found yourself a nice partner, though, that you guys seem to get on the same page, and you and Sean Foltz did your very best to stay in front of those guys.
Yeah, I appreciate Sean a lot. It seemed like early in the race nobody was willing to work with me, so kind of getting hung out quite a bit there. And he stuck with me for a long time, so I really appreciate that, and it helped us gain a lot of time during the second half of the race. Trying to take care of the tires, I knew for sure that that Tom and Josh were going to have a huge tire advantage there at the end, which doesn't really equate to a lot of speed. It just lets you maneuver around the racetrack a little bit better, and that's ultimately what they had at the end that was different.
JR, I'll get you out of here on this one. I don't know if you can call back to the exact instance that I'm talking about. There was one moment late in the race where they went around you and you were in second place on the top side, and you were about to pull down in front of Robinson, and then you didn't. And I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 drivers would have come across the nose of Josh. I don't know if you know when that was, but it was some impressive patience on your part.
Yeah, definitely. I knew when it was. That's right when Tom was able to make the pass on me, and it's probably best case what happened. Ultimately when you're in that top line, you're a little bit vulnerable. You can be pushed up the track, and I had a run, got back to his outside, but had to open up the wheel and kind of made contact with the wall. Not sure how I didn't lose lap time, because I seemed like I closed right back up on him after that. But like you said, Josh was looking to the inside, and I wanted to so bad go to the inside, and I knew it'd just be a big wreck if I did. So kind of hurt me there overall, but ultimately good race. Very respectful in the league. So yeah, congratulations to Tom on that win there.
I know you like winning. I hope you had fun. It was really fun to watch. You put on a great show for the viewers. So take a little solace in a third place finish on putting on a good show. Well done.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for everything you do on the VGN side. And again, YesterYear Racing League, the IROC series, Alan, everything he does, we appreciate being able to be a part of it.
God, it was fun. Thanks a lot, J.R. Shepard, your third place finisher today, and maybe no longer the points leader. Let's drill down a little bit on what Joshua Robinson was talking about, bonus points, about laps led. J.R. Shepard led 27. That's the most. How about you want to talk about competitiveness? Thomas Gogo-Ogle, 24 laps out in front, 23 out in front for Lloyd Moore, and 19 out in front for Joshua Robinson. How about that? That's just some competitive racing going on there, boys. We hope you had a good time watching this. It was fun to broadcast. We're going to show you when we're doing this again. We're going to bring up those graphics. I've been told you're all literate, that you can see what's going on. Look at some of those graphs. So New Hampshire, we're going to Kern, that's in Bakersfield. Daytona, that's in Florida. We're going to Stafford Motor Speedway. Not sure where that is. It's in probably, I can never go long if I say North Carolina, because they're all in North Carolina. With that said, we hope you had a good time. If not, we'll try to do better next time. Until then, on behalf of all the people you see there on the screen, have fun storming the castle.